everyone. I'm here with psychic medium William Stillman, and we are going to chat a little bit about what a psychic gallery event looks like. So, hi, Bill. I just want to introduce you and let everyone know a little bit about your background. You are an internationally known psychic medium, and you are the author of many books. And one really cool book I like to mention is Autism and the God Connection, Under Spiritual Siege. So, you have many books that have been very supportive for people who are interested in learning about intuition, what it's like being a medium, and just more in depth with this line of work. And you have been supporting people in connecting with loved ones who have crossed over, but even more so, as a psychic, not just a medium, connecting with information that they need for their life and for hope and joy and living a happier life. So is there anything else about your journey being a medium that you feel like people should know before we go into talking about what a psychic gallery is?
Well, first of all, Kara, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me. And people may be surprised to learn two things about me. One, I am completely self-taught in all that I do. So I did not have a mentor at all, had to figure it out by myself through trial and error. So that's why I created a class. The second thing is that I'm in my 60s now. I only started doing this when I was 40. So very late bloomer, or as someone told me recently, maybe it was you, late realizer. Late realizer. And that's a phrase that I love. So those are a couple things that people may not know about me, but I love the work that I do. I'm passionate about it. I'm happiest when I'm doing it. And I do believe that it has facilitated the healing of grief and a lot of open-ended questions that people may have had about their loved ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I love this work too. And I don't know if you agree, but there's something about being able to be in connection with spirit directly, just being in that energy. It feels good. And of course, we're helping people. And it's just something that if it comes naturally like it does for us, it's just, what else would you want to be doing?
Yeah. I don't know if this happens for you or if this is your experience, but I feel as though when I'm in the work, my physical body becomes inert.
Yes.
And so afterwards, I have to go through a process of becoming human again and feeling human again. So that's my recovery process. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. I lose all track of my body. A lot of times even the peripheral vision and the vision physically around me just becomes like white, so that I'm just seeing clearly exactly what's put in front of me. And I do. It is you get in an altered state. You're in somewhere else.
Right. So that's why part of my decompression and recovery process is standing under a shower and working with the water and letting the water work with me.
Yeah, it's so that's one thing that I think that's really important to share as we go in here talking about the psychic gallery here, that doing this line of work, it takes a lot on your nervous system. And or you work with this and I do this with teaching clients, you do with teaching for your classes, but it's really important for us to have a really strong energy field. And you do that through prayer and daily exercise and a very strict spiritual practice. And same thing with my lifestyle too. So people out there, that there are many different mediums out there. And I think for us, it's important because we have such a strong passion for integrity and really like high quality work, right? And when we do that, we have to be very clear. And not that, any other mediums out there aren't clear, but the more clear you are with your energy, the more clarity you're getting and accurate information for the clients.
I agree with you completely. And I, not to criticize or disparage anyone, but, when I started doing this 20 some years ago, there were very few people that I knew, even in my state, and now there are dozens and dozens of people. And so, I think having those high standards of integrity and what it is against which you hold yourself accountable is so extremely important. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think that just gives us an enhanced credibility and authenticity to the work that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the term psychic gallery is something that when people hear about, they're like, what is a psychic gallery? Because they think like, is it like an art gallery with a bunch of psychic people that have like been painted? What is it? And so let's share a little bit of what a psychic
Yes.
gallery is.
Well, gallery, maybe a term what people might be familiar with is like the peanut gallery. So it's just a gathering of people. And the gallery is the audience. It's a gathering of people that come together. And myself or yourself would be the facilitator then on behalf of any spiritual energies that step forward to communicate to specific individuals. And if you'd like, I can describe how I conduct a gallery, but if that would be the appropriate time. So what's really curious, and I think what's kind of unique to the way I facilitate this process is about 48 to 72 hours in advance of a gallery, I get together with my team, my spiritual team, and I save up hard copy documents of just random newspapers and magazines that I get in the mail. And I'll say my prayer and I'll say, now, this is for Friday evening with Kara. And each document will yield 1 page of 7 bullet point notes, just random words, random names. And it's intended for one person in the audience who connects with each of those bullet points. So it singles out that person. And then I'm able to get information to them. And it's the most miraculous, amazing thing because it never fails. It's so fascinating. And you've been witness to it. Yeah, you've been
witness. Yes, I have. I'll give you an example, everyone, just so it's, and so of course, me being a medium, I'm like in the audience the last couple times. And then you're pulling someone that I'm like, that's for me, that all those bullet points are for me. And,
right.
and I said to Spirit, I can talk to you directly, but one of the things that people don't know that we mentioned is that even being a medium, when you're too connected to something, it's close to heart, it's close to home, it's something that you can't see objectively because you're too attached to it. It's really helpful to have someone else like yourself to support. So the bullet point list you had made from newspapers and collecting these different words were very specific. And you're calling these out, trying to find someone in the audience that has exactly all of these words. First word was JROTC. ROTC. That was the first word.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The second one was a lion pendant, something with a lion pendant. And the third one, I forget what the rest of the ones were, but they were all specifically on point. Those are very specific. My son was joining the ROTC in school. Mm-hmm. He wears a lion pendant. And then basically the information came up to be for him from his grandmother who passed away. And wow. It was really important. It was important. I know you don't remember because when we get in these states, we don't remember these things. That's another thing to know. When you're a medium, you're getting an altered state. You're like in your dream state. You know, when you wake up and you can't remember your dreams, it's like that. It's just because we're in that state. But it was one of those things that I hadn't heard from his grandmother for a long time. And she had said to me, from you, if he joins the military, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. You know, he's going to climb the ranks quickly. And of course, you can understand as a parent, your child is turning 18, how that type of message can be very supportive for helping, you know what, Spirit's got this, watching over him, it's going to be fine. You know, so that's the information that you gave. And that's the method you use that is very unique and different. So that the first part of the gallery, you are going through and specifically the people who are in the audience, who sometimes they signed up for that on the very day of. And you did these newspaper articles and pulling these words 3 or 4 days ahead of the event.
That's the most miraculous piece of it.
Yes. And I think that's really important because I'm open to, and I know you are open to, skeptics. You know, it's good to be skeptical, but not closed-minded. Closed-minded and skeptical are two different things and two different types of people, but the open-mindedness, but hey, I want to make sure, and you are very much on point, similar to how I am. You want to make sure you got to get every single one of these bullet points. You can't stretch it. You know, we're not trying to pull information here or cold read, which is a common technique that some individuals have done. And so in that case, that's how we're doing it. So the first half of that is going through and reading those people specifically. Can you tell us a little bit about the second half and maybe how we did it last time, which was cool and a surprise, and we're going to continue to do it that way?
I would love to talk about that because it was such a treat and such a pleasure. So the second half is simply taking questions, entertaining audience questions. And the last time that we did it, and you were there, I think I said prior to the event, how would you feel about tag teaming with me for the second half? And I think you were intrigued by it. And so I said, well, second half, pull up a chair and we'll both sit there. And it worked so beautifully. And we played so well off of each other that I am excited at the prospect of doing it again because I had such a
Yes.
blast. It was so much fun, Kara. And it flowed so beautifully.
Yes, and that's the benefit. Like when we're having fun and we're in really good high energy too, that we get clear information. And from what I've learned too, being in places where you're around other mediums, people who have a similar consciousness, it almost creates an intensity or increases for me the actual connection. So that was really, really cool. And I think having that validation too, because we get the information, we're like, we don't know, we're just telling you what we're hearing. This is what we're hearing, this is what we're hearing. But to have that validation back and forth was really, really cool. I know there were certain things I was like, no, I just got that too. And
Yes.
we were kind of going back and forth. So that was really cool. And then so for me, like it's the other thing I think is really a benefit to tag teaming this is when you're a medium, you are utilizing, like you shared, your information, your memories, a lot of the things you've experienced, they'll pull those images, those feelings into your reading. And you are from a different generation than me. And you
Yeah.
have experiences with TV shows and media and books and things that I may not have a reference for. So some of the people in the audience, I'm like, I will get the information, but it may not be as specific if I have no reference to that specific type of thing that was in their generation.
That's an outstanding point. It's an excellent point, Kara, and you're spot on with it. And I often tell people, I can only be shown things that I would know to recognize and understand because I've lived it or I've been exposed to it. And I'm much older. So you have different points of reference than me. So between the two of us, I mean, that's a powerhouse connection then, because we're kind of covering the spectrum in terms of lifespans of our clientele.
No, I agree. And I know that you do this full time, you do this full time. And whenever you come visit us to do a psychic gallery, we always pair that with a special visit from you afterwards for private readings. And I love that option because people call all the time to schedule a reading with me. And sometimes I feel that they're a better fit for you. Not only you might be able to get the information because they're from a generation that I get that kind of hunch, like spirit's like, no, they got to see Bill. But also, your clientele is specifically looking for a type of experience. And a lot of times my clientele, I work with people who are looking to continue on with their personal development and expanding their consciousness, maybe their own personal intuition development, but more specifically their body piece. Since I'm more a mind-body psychic medium running a holistic clinic, like we shared before, you have a lot of references of information when it comes to different generation. I have so much references information from spirit, from my own personal experience on the physical body, the physiology, being a licensed massage therapist and studying at nauseam biochemistry and just biology is my passion. So I have a lot of that information that comes through, plus different holistic modalities and practitioners that might be work best for someone. I always stay within my scope of practice. That's what we always do as mediums. We're not here to ever diagnose or give lottery numbers or financial advice, legal advice. That is not what we do. And we do not tell people when they're going to die. That's a big thing. You can watch our other video here. I'm going to put in the link here, etiquette for getting a private psychic reading. We did that video before. So if you're curious about what to do, what not to do, coming to a gallery or a private reading, and then like the truths and myths about being a medium. So that's another 2 videos we did that I won't elaborate on about it, but I want to get everybody that information for that. But I think it's just amazing that we can combine our skill set, which are very unique and different, and really provide this more full spectrum passion for the audience. And me too, like I like to bring in a little humor. I'm a little quirky and I'm a little funny sometimes. So, and I think you bring in the humor through the spirit because you'll totally bring in that person that you're like, no, I don't curse, but
well, that's part of my prayer during my prep is please allow this to be, helpful, honorable, humorous, because I'd like to have a little bit of fun too. I mean, sometimes, as you know, we end up talking about things that are really very, very serious. But the other point that I wanted to make about why a private session might be an option is there are times, in keeping with things getting very heavy and serious, where I've actually had spirit say, this is not the time or place. This is not the appropriate forum for us to talk this out publicly in front of a room full of other people, you know? And
Yes.
so those are the folks that will come to me for a private session. And then when we get into the thick of it, they're like, I'm so glad we didn't have this out, you know, during the gallery. And the other
Yes.
thing is, you know, as much as we try to be of service to everybody, not necessarily everybody gets a reading then and there that evening. So that might be another motivation for wanting to register for a private session as well.
Absolutely. And then I will kind of share as well the benefit to come into a gallery. I think, even if you are not picked for a reading, is that many of us, and I know that you and I both do this, there's opportunities that information and just hope or motivation or just stuff that you're like, wow, I didn't know that, that comes through. That's not specifically for one person. It's actually for the entire
Yes.
collective group.
Yep. My guides, or whoever it is that comes through, they always have a sign for that. They go like this, and they make this sweeping motion across the entire room. And that's a communication that what they're about to say is intended for everyone to hear and understand.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
nobody walks away empty-handed.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, is there anything else you want to share about psychic galleries, private readings, anything like that?
No, I'm just so excited and very much looking forward to it. And bottom line is looking forward to being of good and great service to everyone with whom I may interact. So thank you for the privilege and the opportunity, Kara.
Absolutely. So, of course, if you guys want to learn more about what it looks like, how to sign up, go to our website. You can check it out. I'll put in the description here below this video. And I'll, of course, put the links to those other two videos to learn more about what we shared about what is the etiquette for getting a reading, some of the things you may not know, and then some truths and myths about what it is like to be a medium, because I think those are always curious. And if you want to get a private session with William, I call you Bill. So William, we got to make sure that you sign up for that ahead of time, because those do fill up. So if you see something coming up, there's a gallery coming up with us, and there's a day that he's coming after, which is usually within a couple of weeks of that event, make sure you get that signed up as soon as possible too. So we'll share all the links in the description here, and we hope you guys are wonderful, and be well until next time, my friends. Bye.